Hi, everyone. Welcome to Milestone 9 of the Data and Research Methods Project, organized by the National Student Data Corps. My name is Lauren, and I'm a member of the NSDC project team. In this video, I'm going to walk you through Milestone 9, which is found in Document D of your project packet. All in all, this final milestone of the project should take you about 2 hours to complete. So let's go ahead and jump into Milestone 9. So to start, Camille thinks that your research summary looks great. She recommends that you also develop 3 visualizations which highlight key points noted in your summary. So to do that, we're going to start by talking about our target audiences. Obviously, we need to be thinking about who we're sharing this information with. When we explain our findings about our work to a friend, that information is conveyed in a different way than we might share it with a professor or a government official, right? We communicate in different ways. Remember that this material in your DRM project is supposed to be going to Mayor Elation and her team in the public policy space. So they're going to be someone who has very limited attention span. They're going to be looking for identifiable talking points because they're going to have to talk to the media about what you've done. And so the visualizations that you create for them are going to have to be compelling, clear, and easily understandable. Not that the mayor and her team aren't smart, but they're not data scientists, right? So this is the piece where we take a step back and talk about how our work has this broader impact. So even though we've talked a little bit about visualization in previous milestones, we're going to dive even deeper into visualizations in this final milestone. As you know, there's a couple different kinds of charts. Not all visualizations work really well for every research project. You have here a couple links which go through the different types of charts that are out there. You already know a little bit about how you can compare and contrast ways that you can use these charts to communicate certain ideas. If you need a refresher, also go back to milestone 6, where we talk about the ways that you can create specific kinds of visualizations in just Google Sheets or Excel. Another really important thing to think about as you're creating this final step in your project is that all good visualizations are accessible visualizations. Not everyone can distinguish, for example, between muted colors. They may not be able to see your charts clearly or at all. And this isn't just a small thing to consider. In total, about 8% of the US population has some kind of visual impairment. So it's very likely that someone who you're going to be talking to in any given project is going to require this accessibility standard. So I've provided here for you a couple different tools that you can use to ensure that your visualizations are accessible. This is a really important and essential part of your project. This is not an afterthought. Okay, so think about all of these resources here. Do a refresher if you need it on the types of visualizations. You've already started brainstorming a little bit in the last milestone, what kinds of statements you want to make with your visualizations. And now in task 19, we're going to refine our key messages. So as you know, Camille is asking you to create 3 visualizations for the mayor and her team. Before getting started, take a moment to think carefully about the connections between your hypothesis and those wow insights that we talked about in milestone 8. So what key points do you want to be pulled from your analysis? What are your 2 data-driven recommendations for the city of Data Lake? What chart types in particular might help you explain those recommendations in an interesting and compelling way for your audience? So we've provided here a small space for you to start jotting down some initial notes or thoughts about the visualizations you'd like to use for your project and why. This is meant to be a space just to help you get your bearings to start thinking critically about the data storytelling that you're going to do. A final note here in task 19, for data storytelling, it is better to have, I would say, 3 very compelling charts than maybe 10 charts that are very similar looking that don't really add to each other in any meaningful way. You want your charts to make sense to the viewer. You want them to quickly tell your story. And I've also included here a link to an interesting and I think a really good example of a data story that uses 3 distinct chart types. This is an example from a couple of years ago from a site called NYC Slice, where the researcher uses 3 different types of charts to tell this complex story about the evolving cost of pizza in New York City. So he uses a map to ground geospatial understanding, the city itself over time. The second chart is about changes over time. So we have not only space, but we're moving through different periods. And then the third chart that he includes lets you browse by like year, type, and cost. So there's an interactive piece to each of them, and together as a unit of 3, they tell this really nice story. So it's a great introduction to this concept that you're working with, right? That you have this written piece that's really nice, but it's complemented and supplemented by your 3 visualizations, and together they make for a really excellent project and a portfolio item that you would want to share with this hypothetical mayor's office, right? So in this task, think about your preferred visualizations and actually build out those visualizations. That's what we're going to do here in task 20. So give yourself plenty of time to build these visualizations. Try to have fun with this piece too. I think that this is one of the more interesting aspects of this research. I would also say don't overcomplicate things. You can do this project very effectively with just the simple charts and graphs available to you in Google Sheets or Excel. If you do want to stretch yourself, you absolutely can go ahead and use other free tools like Tableau, for example, for this task. But my goal here is not to push you into new tools. It's to get you to think very consistently and clearly about data communications. We're not necessarily trying to create something pretty. We want to create something that is clear and effective, that is a great reflection of your analysis. Okay, so task 19, you're going to be thinking about what you want to do. In task 20, you're going to go ahead and create those visualizations. Keep copies of your links for any visualizations that you might create. If you're working in Excel, you can just go ahead and save those in a new tab in your Milestone 4 document. This milestone is very open-ended. We want to, see your unique approach to data visualizations and how you can use data visualizations to answer a complicated research question. So give yourself plenty of time to work on this. When you're done, start this video up again, and we're going to close out your 9th and final milestone. Welcome back to milestone 9. If you made it to this part of the video, it means that you are now done with your entire data and research methods project. Your team is ready to submit final analysis to the mayor for consideration. Fantastic job pulling together some wonderful data-driven recommendations for your hometown, and congratulations on all of your hard work. The final thing for you to do at this stage is to submit your final materials via the Google form linked at the bottom of document D. You will need to submit documents A, B, C, and D, as well as your data file. In addition, if you have any other materials that you've generated in support of this project, please go ahead and add those with a comment in your submission form. I cannot stress enough that there is no deadline to complete this project. You can work on this project at any time. When you do submit your project, please give our team a few business days to review everything in your packet. We will process your submission as quickly as possible, and we will provide you with a certificate of completion as well as a few points of constructive feedback. If you have any issues, you can always email me directly. My email address is lc3460@columbia.edu. So again, when you're ready, use this Google form linked at the bottom of document D to finish your project. Congratulations once again on all of your great work. I'm so excited to read your final project. Thank you for being a part of the DRM project. Goodbye for now.